Yes, how was your vacation? How was the assignment? Awesome. Who all have not done the assignment? Stand up. Awesome. Silence everyone. Chakre. You have not done anything. So, I'll come at your home to give it to you, to deliver it to you. Pizza or burger is being delivered. Who is going to collect it? Did you get the message or not? Then, and in the message it was clearly specified that if assignment is not completed, you will not be allowed to attend the classes. So now leave. Akshar, how much? So there is thoda. Half means half of stats, half of accounts, both. Then accounts is completed. Accounts is full remaining. Submitted? Why not submitted then? Stats completed. Submitted. Ship. Yes? How much? How much is remaining? Full. 15-20 days relax, completely enjoy. You WhatsApp and forward so many things to each other otherwise. These two could not have asked for anyone. Homework, how nicely you copy, then you take a photo and send it to your friends. This important thing you could not send? Full. And stats is completed and submitted? Accounts is full remaining, and now write it in another book. Submit this one. Yes, what about you? Full. Accounts is complete. Manish? Both remaining. Roman. Why? Why both is remaining? So, whose duty to collect it? Message was given or not? Then why you did not collect it? Manish? Accounts is completed. Submitted? And accounts is completed? Why? Why not collected? Maximum 4 days I'll give those who have not collected the assignment. Raise your hand. Take it after the class, and you'll be allowed to attend the classes tomorrow only when I receive a message from your parents. Don't ask them to call. I will not receive call from so many people. So ask them to message on my mobile apologizing that you have not done. That apology should be from your side, not from your parents. That you have not done the assignment. You're sorry for that. And it will be completed by Friday. 4 days time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday it should be submitted. If I don't receive the message from your parents, you will not be allowed to attend the classes. Okay, and others, what is remaining? So by Friday it should be done. Not Friday, Wednesday. You have completed now. If you have told lies now suffer, Wednesday it should be completed by day after tomorrow. Wednesday it should be done. You also, both of you, Wednesday. No, tomorrow. Only 4 illustrations. Whose 4 illustrations are? You give it tomorrow. And yours, how much is remaining? By Wednesday it should be done. By Friday. And yours, how much is remaining? By Wednesday it should be done. So now, others have all submitted. The sheet which was given to you, I told you earlier also, that should be submitted along, because in that we'll put tick which ones you have done and which ones not. And that sheet will be kept with us, so that when we keep the PTA meeting with your parents in this month, we can show it to them how much is done and not done. So that sheet will be retained with us. Okay? Now, statistics, we are going to start. The message was already given to you. So put your pens down, just understand the thing. We are going to start with statistics, 5th chapter, skewness. Now, skewness, not squeenness, okay? Skewness. It is pronounced as skewness. Now, what is skewness? Before we understand what is skewness, first we will understand what is symmetry. Okay, before we understand what is skewness, first we'll understand what is symmetry. Then only you'll be able to understand what is skewness. So, in simple language, if I talk about what is symmetry, you can say how the parking is done in a multiplex. Yes? How is the... You will also go underground. How is the parking done in a multiplex? Properly, systematically. Don't tell me horizontally, vertically, diagonally. How is the parking done in a multiplex? Systematically, properly. Anything which is systematically and properly arranged is called symmetry. For example, if you look at the cupboard of girls, not boys. If you look at girls' cupboard, you'll find all things at proper place. Okay, exceptions are always there. Since economics, 2nd chapter you are studying, exceptions are always there. Otherwise, majority you'll find the things are arranged systematically. Not like boys, where in books you'll find clothes, in clothes you'll find books, or maybe books you don't find only. So, normally how the things are arranged in the girls' cupboard systematically. That is called symmetry. So anything which is arranged properly, proper order is called symmetry. Now in statistics, when we talk about symmetry, means we have to think about a frequency distribution. How or when would a frequency distribution be a symmetrical frequency distribution? Okay, when a frequency distribution would be a symmetrical frequency distribution. Suppose we make a diagram or a graph where on x-axis we show the value of variable and on y-axis we show the frequency. Okay, on x-axis we show the value of variable xi and on y-axis we show the frequency. Now if you make a frequency curve, one diagram we studied even in mode. Okay, diagram or graphical method of mode, we used to make that histogram, bars. But here we make a frequency curve. To understand what is the symmetry, we make a frequency curve. If you get this kind of frequency curve, okay, if you get this kind of frequency curve, it is called symmetrical. I'll make it again. If you get this kind of frequency curve, it is called symmetrical. Can you say it is bell-shaped? Can you say this type of frequency curve is perfectly bell-shaped? Does the bell look like this or not? This type of frequency curve, when you make it, which is perfectly bell-shaped, then you call it as symmetrical. Now, what are the characteristics of symmetrical frequency distribution? Understand it? Yes. What are the characteristics of a symmetrical frequency distribution? Understand it? First of all, wherever you find highest frequency, you'll find there itself you'll get mean, median as well as mode. Means the first characteristic is that mean is equal to median is equal to mode. First characteristic of a symmetrical frequency distribution. Further, you'll find that first quartile Q1 is exactly between lowest observation and median. Yes, sir, concentrate here, it is bell shaped only. Continuously laughing. You'll find Q1 is exactly between lowest observation and median. And you'll find Q3, yes, silence. Q3 is exactly between median and last observation. Means, this is the number line. You can see it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So, quartile 3 will always be more than n and quartile 1 will always be less than median. But this distance, you'll find, is always same. Which distance is same? Q3 minus m. Q3 minus m will be same as m minus q1. Understood this? How will you write this theoretically? First characteristic, how will you write theoretically? Mean, median and mode are. How will you write this theoretically? First characteristic, mean, median and mode are same, equal or same. How will you write second characteristic theoretically? Median is at equidistant from first and third quartile. How will you write second characteristic theoretically? Median is at equidistant from third and first quartile. Did you understand this? And third characteristic, highest frequency is in the center. See that? Highest frequency is in the center and on either sides. And on either sides, the frequencies are same. On either sides, the frequencies are same. Like this is the highest frequency. Now see, on either sides, are the frequencies same or not? For example, if I write this distribution, zero to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50. 2, 8, 10, 8, 2. This is fast. Yes, Children's Day, 14 November. Highest frequency, what is the characteristic of it? Highest frequency is in the center. Do you find highest frequency is in the center or not? And see either sides. What are the frequencies? 8, before 10 also and after 10 also. And see before 8, after 8. So highest frequency is in the center and on either sides the frequencies are same. Did everyone understand this? And the last characteristic, frequency curve is bell shaped. Frequency curve is bell shaped. Did you understand this portion? So these four are the characteristics of what? Symmetrical frequency distribution. When is any frequency distribution said to be symmetrical? Symmetry means in proper order, systematic. So when is any frequency distribution said to be symmetrical or systematic or in proper order? When First condition, mean, median and mode are same, equal. Second condition, median is equidistant from first quartile and third quartile. Third condition, highest frequency is in the center and either sides the frequencies are same. And fourth, frequency curve is bell-shaped. Do you understand this? Now we can understand what is skewness. Skewness means lack, repeat, of symmetry. Okay, what is skewness? Lack of symmetry. Something which is not symmetrical is skewed. Something which is not symmetrical is skewed. S-K-E-W-E-D, not screwed, skewed. Something which is not symmetrical is skewed. So we have to understand not skewness, skewed. Skewed. Skewness means lack of symmetry, and the distribution which is not symmetrical is said to be skewed frequency distribution. What was the first example I gave you for symmetry? First example, symmetry, parking in multiplex. Okay, and the parking which you find downstairs, that is skewed. Okay, the parking which you find downstairs, the way you people park the vehicles, that is skewed. Girls cupboard arrangement, symmetrical. Boys cupboard arrangement, skewed. Is everyone familiar with it? Now in terms of frequency distribution, when will it be skewed? First condition, mean will not be equal to median, will not be equal to mode. 99.99% examples it is skewed. Do you remember any of the examples done in the past 2-3 chapters when mean, median, mode all have come equal? Do you find any kind of distribution of this kind where we found 2, 8, 10, 10, 8, 2? So normally you find that a frequency distribution is never symmetrical, it is always skewed. Mean will not be equal to median, median will not be equal to mode. Second characteristic, Q3 minus M will not be equal to M minus Q1. Okay, means median is not equidistant from the first and third quadrant. Third, frequencies on either sides of highest frequency. Frequencies on either sides of highest frequency will not be same. Highest frequency can be anywhere, and even frequencies on the either sides of the highest frequency will not be same. And lastly, it is not bell-shaped. Not bell-shaped means it is pulled, or in textbook they have used the word elongated. Okay, you remember it as pulled. Either it is pulled towards left tail or it is pulled towards right tail. Okay, either it is pulled towards right tail or it is pulled towards left tail. These are the 4 characteristics of which distribution? Skewed frequency distribution. First characteristic, mean, median, mode will not be same or equal. Second characteristic, median will not be equidistant from first quartile and third quartile. Third, highest frequency can be anywhere, and frequencies on either sides of highest frequency will not be same. And either it will be pulled towards the right tail or it will be pulled towards the left tail. Okay. Now, there are 2 types of skewness. There are 2 types of skewness. One is positive skewness and the other is negative skewness. So there are two types of skewness, positive and negative. Now, what do you mean by not equal to? Kushbu? Not equal to means not same. Anyone else? What do you mean by not equal to? Yes? Shift? Equal is? Not? Anyone else? What do you mean by not equal to? Having difference. Anyone else? What two things does not equal to indicate? More than or less than? Not equal to means either it is more than or it is less. Okay, so what is positive skewness? Remember, everywhere you will put the sign more than. And for negative, everywhere you will put the sign less than. Like, what is the first characteristic of skewness? Mean is? Here you say mean is more than median, greater than median. And median is greater than mode. And in negative skewness, mean is less than median, less than mode. Then Q3 minus M is greater than M minus Q1. Here Q3 minus M is less than M minus Q1. Third characteristic will not write, we directly write the last one. It is pulled towards the right tail and it is pulled towards the left tail. Pulled means elongated. This one is pulled towards left tail. Now, I'll make the diagram to understand it and explain it. Positive, I'll make the diagram on the board. Negative, you'll draw on your. Okay. First of all, tell me which one is pulled towards the right tail and which one is pulled towards the left tail. Raise your hand. Is your name? Rima. Which one is pulled towards the right tail? This is pulled towards the right tail. And this is pulled towards the left tail. Okay? Fine? Who will go with this standard? She said first is pulled towards the left tail and second is pulled towards the right tail. Who will agree with that standard? Okay, sit down. So others believe that this one is pulled towards the right and this one is pulled towards the left. Who will agree with that? This one is pulled towards the right and this one is pulled towards the left. Okay, Adarshi, come on the stage. Pull it from one side. That's it. Now tell me where she is pulling it. Don't leave. Where she is pulling it, does it become narrow or broad? Where you are pulling it, so this is narrow or broad? This one is broad. This one is narrow. Wherever you are pulling it, it becomes narrow. Which side I am pulling it? Silence and be attentive. Which side I am pulling it? I am pulling it on your left side. I am pulling it on the left side. So this one is pulled towards the left end. What Rima said is correct. And this one is pulled towards the right side. Did you understand it? So, yes, silence now, be attentive. Pull towards the right tail means wherever you pull it, it will become narrow. Understood that? And pull towards the left side will be this kind of diagram. So this is positive skewness and this is negative skewness. Any confusions with this? Raise your hand. All are clear up till here? Now how to make the diagram? I'll explain it systematically and you'll play on your own for negative. Very first you'll plot mode. Mode is always observation against highest frequency. Can I say this is the highest frequency? So here you will get mode. Any doubts with this? First you will always plot mode. Second, plot median. Now see here, median is greater than mode. So on the number line, will median come on the right side or on the left side? Greater than mode means right side. Let us say this is median. Median is greater than mode. Any confusions with this? Then third, you will plot mean. Now see the condition. Mean is greater than median. So where will it come? Still on the right side. Any confusion with this? Mean is greater than median. Median is greater than. Okay. Second condition. Now in Q3, MN, Q1. Q3 always comes on the right side and then Q1 always comes on the left side. So fourth you plot Q3 which will always come on the right side of median. Okay. Now this is the distance between Q3 and M. We want that Q3 minus M should be more than M minus Q1. Q3 minus M. If I write Q1 here, will they be equal or not? Q3 minus M. M minus Q1. If I write Q1 here, will both the distances be equal or not? But we want that Q3 minus M should be. So don't write it there, write it lesser side. Means, instead of writing it here, if I write suppose Q1 here, can you see now? Q3 minus M is more than M minus Q1. All the conditions are fulfilled or not? So fifth you will plot what? Same way you'll try to satisfy these conditions and draw the diagram of negative on your. Understood this question everyone? So start from here first. Complete these three things. Completed? Check your diagram of negative skewness be attended. See, very first you will plot mode. This will be your mode. Now here median is less than mode, so it will come on the left side. Again x bar is less than median, so still it will come on the left side. Who all could get this 3 correct? Further, Q3 you'll always write on the right side. Now we have to write Q3 and M in such a way, yes, we added that Q3 minus M should look less than M minus Q1. So Q3 minus M, if I write Q1 here, they will look same. But if I write Q1 here, then does Q3 minus M look less than M minus Q1 or not? Who all could get this diagram correct? Now, be attended. There are two methods of finding the skewness. There are two methods of finding the skewness. One is first one is Carl Pearson's method. Where did we study Carl Pearson earlier? Which idiot studied in accounts? Yes, silence and stop the nonsense. Yes, where earlier did we study Carl Pearson in statistics? Yes? First chapter, where else? What did we study in third chapter with relation to Carl Pearson? Yes? Silence! Carl Pearson's empirical formula of mode, empirical measure of mode 3m minus 2x bar. When mode is ill-defined, then Z will be obtained, mode will be obtained. Mode will be obtained as 3m minus 2x bar. Raise your hand, when is mode ill-defined? 4 situations we studied when mode is ill-defined. Where you cannot apply the normal formula of mode. When do we apply the formula 3n minus 2x bar? Which 4 situations mode is ill-defined? Yes?
There are more than one mode.
More than one mode, that is multimodal. But what are the 4 situations I made you write when mode is ill-defined? First condition was class lengths are unequal. Second condition was highest frequency occurs twice or more. Third condition was highest frequency either occurs in the beginning or at the end. And last condition was mixed type frequency distribution, partly discrete and partly continuous. Should remember this, we have done it in the class already. You had the chapter included also in your exams, third chapter. Which 4 situations mode is ill-defined first? Class lengths are unequal. Second, will be required in this chapter the knowledge. Second, highest frequency occurs twice or more. Third, highest frequency occurs in the beginning or at the end. And last, mixed type, partly discrete, partly continuous. Okay. Second method is Bowley's method. Not Bowley. Bowley's method. Okay, Bowley's method. Today I will explain you the formulas of only Carl Pearson's method. Then in the summary you leave around half a page. Once we finish with practical examples of Carl Pearson in 2-3 lectures, then we'll take up with Bowley's. Okay. So Carl Pearson's method, understand it. Silence. Now if you remember, in the previous chapter method of measures of dispersion, we studied there are 2 types of measures, absolute and relative. Absolute dispersion and relative. Absolute was range. Relative was coefficient of range. Then quaternary deviation absolute, coefficient of quaternary deviation relative. Then mean deviation absolute, coefficient of mean deviation relative. Then again standard deviation absolute and coefficient of standard deviation or coefficient of variation was relative. Same way skewness is absolute and coefficient of skewness is relative. Okay, so 2 measures are there. First one is absolute measure. Absolute measure is skewness and that is denoted as SK. How do you denote the skewness? SK. Okay. Carl Pearson uses the first characteristic and Bowley's uses the second characteristic to find skewness. Carl Pearson uses first characteristic and Bowley's uses second characteristics. As per Carl Pearson, what is the skewness? The difference between mean and mode. This is a formula, that's it. What is the formula of skewness? X bar minus mode. And you'll use this formula when mode is defined. You'll use this formula when mode is defined. When it is possible to find the mode. Are you okay with this portion? And if mode is ill-defined, then you'll apply the formula 3 into x bar minus m. When will you use this formula? When mode is ill-defined. Those 4 situations we discussed, right? In those 4 situations, when class lengths are unequal, highest frequency, twice or more, highest frequency in the beginning or at the end, and mixed type. In these situations, you'll use the formula 3 into x bar minus, and how do you get this formula? Understand it. X bar minus mode is the normal formula. Now, what is the formula of mode when it is ill-defined? Carl Pearson's formula 3m minus 2x bar. Now open the brackets. Minus into minus plus. What is x bar plus 2x bar? 3x bar minus 3. What is common? What remains? X bar minus. So when mode is ill-defined, then mode is obtained as 3m minus 2x bar. And if you put that, then what formula do you get per student? As 3 into x bar minus. Understood that? And relative measure. Relative measure is called coefficient of skewness, and it is denoted as J. Now, if you remember in dispersions chapter we studied what is the difference in absolute and relative measures. Actually, absolute means it is measured in same units. Means if you are talking about distance, kilometers, then absolute will be measured in kilometers. If you are talking about marks, absolute will be measured in marks. If you are talking about income, absolute will be measured in rupees. If you are talking about weight, absolute will be measured in kilograms. But relative measure is free from the units. Means coefficient of range was simply a pure number 0.31. CV was expressed in percentage. So absolute measure is expressed in same units and relative measure is free from the units. It does not have any units, it is a pure number. Then I gave you one shortcut also. In relative measure I told you absolute measure divided by central tendency. Like in mean deviation we used to do mean deviation divided by mean x bar. Even in coefficient of standard deviation we used to do absolute measure standard deviation divided by central tendency x bar. Here you remember that relative measure is equal to, repeat, absolute measure divided by dispersion. Okay, in dispersion relative measure is absolute measure divided by central tendency, and here relative measure is absolute measure divided by dispersion. Now, what is the absolute measure? X bar minus mode divided by dispersion. Which is the best measure of dispersion out of the four? Range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, standard deviation. Which is the best? Standard deviation is the best measure of dispersion, so you will divide it by standard deviation. And when will you apply this formula? When mode is dependent. Your answer here will always come between -1 and +1. Your answer of J will always come between -1 and +1. And if it is ill-defined, then what is the absolute measure? 3 into x bar minus m divided by dispersion means s. When will you apply this formula? When mode is ill-defined. And since you multiply it with 3, your answer will come between -3 and +3. Did everyone of you understand this portion? So very simple formulas. Carl Pearson uses which characteristic to find skewness? First. So what is absolute measure of skewness equal to? X bar minus mode. And if mode is ill-defined, then putting the formula, what do we get? 3 into x bar minus m. And how will you remember the relative measure? Absolute measure divided by dispersion. Which dispersion? Standard deviation. So what will be the first formula of coefficient of skewness? X bar minus mode divided by s. What will be the second formula of coefficient? 3 into x bar minus m divided by s. Understood that? Get on this one. Your homework will be this question. Shut up. Your homework will be this question. Since this chapter requires the knowledge of last two chapters, for this question, which is symmetrical distribution, you'll find mean, median, mode, Q1 and Q3. And after finding this, we'll tomorrow discuss the conditions of symmetry are satisfied or not. We'll see that all these three come same. Then we'll see that Q3 minus M is equal to M minus Q. So for this continuous frequency distribution, you'll find this 5 things in notebook. Okay?